Welcome to Get a Clue, Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game. C is for components, L is for length, U is for uniqueness, E is for ease, but today we are getting a clue about a list of games. I'm going to share with you, we're going to find out together. No, I'm going to share with you the 28 games that I played in the month of October. When I realized how many games I had done, and then I was thinking about the list I did last month about the 37 games I played at the Dice Tower Retreat, I looked back at my app that keeps track of all of my plays and realized that I only played 3 other games in September besides the 37 at Dice Tower, which gave it a nice round number of 40. And then I played 28 games in October, and only 3 of them were repeats of ones I had played in September. So really, in September and October, I have played 65 totally different games. But in October, I played 28 games. I played 44 plays. And out of those 28 games, 12 were the first time I ever played them. So let's get a clue about these 28 games that one of them or a dozen of them might speak to you and get your interest as well. Now, I am very low-key, very untech. I am not pulling out all of these games so that I can show you these games, because I'm constantly, in fact, let me move this over. I'm constantly trying to get these games into order, and so I'm like, no. I am not pulling them out so that I have to put them all back in. And I'm also not tech, so I don't bring up this nice little picture of the cover or whatever like some really nice channels do. I am just here to share with you my love of games and hopefully help you choose and decide on some new games yourself. I have done over 80 individual videos on individual games. So many of these games, obviously not the ones I played for the first time today or this month, this past month, because we're now in November, but I'm constantly doing new videos. I like to put up at least 1 and sometimes 2 individual games per week. So I'm constantly adding to this. I will be doing a list soon of my favorite Christmas games, Christmas themed games, and also I'll probably do another list. I did a somewhat list last year on games that you could buy for people, so I'm working on those lists, but let's get to these 28 games. I'll give you a little bit of information about them and then go on to the next, because we don't want this to last an hour and a half. I'm trying to keep it down to about 30 minutes. So let's get a clue about the games I played in the month of October. First one, on October 1st, I played the game Project L. I love Project L. Project L is a very friendly, easy game. Technically, it's tile laying. You're getting these little polyomino shaped tiles, really pretty tiles. I'm trying to think of where is my Project L. Oh, down there. It's down there, right there. That's my Project L. But it's beautiful. It's wonderful for getting someone who's not into complicated games. It is a wonderful bridge game, and for those of us who really like casual level games, it's a wonderful game. I fully speak highly of the game Project L. The next game I played, I actually played solo because this would have been early in October, and like I said in other videos, in late June I moved, and so I don't have a lot of gaming people here in town yet. When I played Project L, I was out of town at a friend's house and we played it. So I played a solo game and this is the first one that I played for the first time in October, first time ever, and it's called Second Chance. It's a roll and write, and you're, again, polyomino shapes. You're actually, let me see. I'm trying to think. I can't. Oh my goodness! It's been over a month, and I already forgotten some things. You're drawing polyomino shaped pieces, Tetris shaped pieces, onto the paper, and I'm trying to remember if it's a roll and write or if it's a flip and write. I think it's a flip and write, if I remember correctly. You flip over a card and it shows you a shape, and you have to draw it onto your paper. Oh yes, and everyone begins with an unusual shape so that no two people are able to copy each other in drawing. Now I do remember. Okay, so Second Chance, it's a light game. It's easy to play. You can play it solo, and which is what I did. I have not played it with anyone else yet, but it's in the similar. I think it's like the same manufacturer as the Gongsun Clever game, Roll and Writes, and I love there's 4 of them now. Clever, Gongsun Clever, something so clever, and something. Each one is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Gongsun Clever, that's so clever, or you're so clever. It translates from the German. But anyway, I digress. Second Chance. It was a very easy, light game, and it gives you a second chance if at first you don't succeed. At first you can't place a shape. There is a second chance built into the game. Okay, next game. Oh, and by the way, Second Chance came out in 2019. I'm going to give you the date, the year, the games that I played for the first time in October, when they actually came out. So it's been 3 years, and I finally get it to the table. I didn't own it for 3 years. I recently acquired it. So yeah. Okay, so the next game I played was it's now a modern classic. It's a wonderful British game. It's Azul, the original Azul. It's the only one I actually own. I have played the second Azul, and the third and fourth ones look quite interesting to me, but for now I just own the original Azul. And again, it's a tile laying, well, it's not really tile laying, it's tiles set collection. You'll be picking tiles and creating sets so that you can then transfer them over to a certain pattern, and in so doing get more, try it. It's also kind of like a little bit of an engine builder, because if you can get them next to another tile that's already there, you actually get to count both of them or all 5 of them, or yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful, very entry-level game. So if you've never played Azul, you've probably heard of it, but if you've never played it, you really should give it a try. It's a wonderful, and I have done a video on it. Next one is another modern classic. Actually, a lot of these, right, the next, these 3 or 4 that I did, I took to my church's older adult camp, because they put me in charge of the game room for some reason. And so they asked if I could take some of my gaming games. I also took a lot of the traditional mass market games that people are used to, but I took some of the entry level, the bridge games that are popular in the hobby world. And so I took King Domino, the original King Domino. Again, there are several different King Dominoes now. I went with still the original basic King Domino, and had fun playing it. And actually we played it a couple times. We played Azul 3 times. I had a friend there, and so she and I, she had played Azul before, and I think I taught her King Domino. But yeah, we played Azul 3 times. We played King Domino 2 times. Again, King Domino plays very similar to dominoes. Kind of like a cross between dominoes and it's a tile laying game for sure. Tile drafting, tile laying. You're picking a tile that has terrain, the pictures of terrain. Instead of numbers, it's pictures of terrain, and you are creating a 5x5, or if it's 2 players, you can opt for 7x7 square kingdom. And you're doing this with the different terrains depending on what terrain, how many crowns are there, to what kind of scoring you're going to get at the end of the game. Very simple game, very friendly, very entry level, casual level, family friendly game. If you know how to play dominoes, you can figure out King Domino. And then we went to a game that is probably the oldest game that of all of these, because we played Mancala, and it's just, you know, it's a mass market game, and we played it 3 times, and it's just it's truthfully, because I've done a history games and did study on it, and Mancala is actually not the name of the game, but rather the name of the mechanism, where you're picking up the stones from one spot and dropping one at a time on a trail around. And if you go into the history of Mancala games, you will find that many places had different types of Mancala games. It's kind of like saying, you know, rummy type game, you know, or card game. It's a Mancala game. But we played Mancala, and you've probably heard of it, and you can look it up, and it's just a simple game, and we just had a nice little quiet time playing that. Then we played the game, another modern classic, Splendor. Splendor, you are card drafting, card buying, it's and then kind of an engine builder. You're getting cards that represent jewels. You're getting jewels to buy cards that represent jewels, so that you now need one less of that colored jewel to buy another card of jewel worth jewels. And your outcome is trying to, I believe it's 15 points, try to be the first one to get cards that have the value adding up to 15 points. It's really not a difficult game, and it's a modern classic in the gaming world. So we played Splendor. Set collection, drafting, getting points. The next one I played was Lowdown Dice, which is a roll and write. Lowdown Dice is a very simple one. I've done a video on it. I mean, I've done a video on Azul, King Domino, Splendor, Lowdown Dice, and Project L. Lowdown Dice, I think of it as a cross between bingo and tic-tac-toe. Kind of. You do a little bit of math. If you can add up 3 numbers up to 10, you can play Lowdown Dice. It's a very simple roll and write game. I highly recommend it. It's a very, very easy game. Then the next one that we played is a card game called Campy Creatures. And I do believe I did a video on it. recently, just in the last few weeks. It came out in 2017. This is one of the ones that I played for the first time in October. And basically it's a blind auction set collection card game. It's like just, yeah, card game. You have this, each person has the same hand of card monsters and each monster has a different ability and also their power level, and you're just blind auctioning for the chance of getting certain mortals because you're a monster and you want mortals. You want to collect mortals. Anyway, go watch that video that I did. It's a silly game. I played it at camp, and then now we're transitioning into when a friend of mine, she and her husband drove down, friends of mine from Atlanta to southern Alabama where I now live, and she and I played games when I got off work at night. We'd meet together and play games, and so together we played 20 games over several evenings, and the first one was that Campy Creatures as well. That was my second time playing Campy Creatures. But the first game we really played was Wingspan. She taught me Wingspan. I had recently acquired it. Thank you, friend, and my friend Darlene, who found it at Goodwill for under $4. It's a $40+ game, and it was all there. So, all right. So anyway, so my friend from Atlanta, Linda, taught me how to play Wingspan, and it came out 3 years ago in 2019, and I've seen it, and my cousin up in Huntsville, northern Alabama now, I now know how to play it, so we can play Wingspan the next time we get together. So yeah, it's an engine building. You're getting birds, you're feeding birds, you're using the eggs collecting eggs. You use eggs as your money, to pay for other things, and you're trying to build up this engine of abilities and trying to get as many points as you can. Yeah, that's Wingspan. It's definitely on the I think of these games ranging anywhere from really easy to still casual level, but on the crunchier side. Think of the difference between eating some applesauce and eating an apple. It's like, some of these are like eating applesauce. Just spoon it in. It's so easy. We got this. And then the more tougher ones are like eating an apple. You can easily do this unless you have problems with your teeth. You can easily eat an apple, and that's, Wingspan is more like eating an apple than eating applesauce. Okay. Next one we played was Seven Wonders Architect, which I did play for the first time at Dice Art Retreat. So I knew how to play this, and I taught her. It's the easiest of all the Seven Wonders. I think I've done a video about, yes, I have done a video about Seven Wonders Architects. So please go and check it out. It is a very organized box game, the most organized game I've ever seen, and it is a very easy game. It's much closer to the applesauce than it is to the apple in complexity, and it's a way of it's a good bridge game. It's a good game, a good entry game, a good gateway game into the hobby game world. After that, we played Quacks of Quedlinburg, which I also played for the first time at Dice Tower, and Quacks is Quacks of Quedlinburg is a push your luck bag building game. You have these little tokens that are in your individual bag, and you're trying to get enough points to spend the points to buy more good tokens to put into your bag to mitigate the bad tokens, that you don't want to blow up your cauldron with all these ingredients with the bad tokens. You have these white tokens that are the bad tokens. They're cherry bombs, and if you get 7 of them or more, they blow up, and your cauldron is destroyed. Anyway, very fun. Very it looks complicated, but it's kind of like halfway between the applesauce and the apple. It's kind of like apple filling, pie filling. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Learning it, doing it that first time might seem a little weird and everything, but it really is a very easy one to pick up and learn. Next, we played the roll and write, or really flip and write, Explorers. We played that a couple times, and it's the map. I love the variability of the game. The map will change every game, but everyone is using the same map. So your choices are everyone starts with individual choice, and after that, you all have one of 2 choices. It's like, do this or do this, do 3 of this or 2 of that, and you have that choice to do that. And you're mapping out. You're trying to get keys to unlock temples. You're trying to catch fish and apples and carrots to get points. You're trying to get diamonds to get points. You X out a horse, you get an extra X out. You're making trails on this map with little X's. It's a casual level game. It's a beautiful, it really is kind of quite attractive, and it's a wipe-off board setup. So these boards are usable. You're not going to run out of sheets of paper, but it is a very nice flip and write game in the roll and write genre of games. And roll and write, if you don't know, think Yahtzee. That's a roll and write. Okay, next one is Decorum. The game of Decorum that I tried to play at Dice Tower went horribly wrong. I am going to tell you 2 players is the best way to play Decorum. The 3 and 4 player route is exponentially more difficult than the 2 player. 2 player, you have your 3 criteria, they have their 3 criteria. By the end of the game, you know each other's criteria completely, and it really is, we solved it fine, and much easier. I mean, when you have 3 or 4 players, there are 12 different criteria. With 2 players, there's only 6, and they're much easier to figure out. So definitely, Decorum is a deduction game. It's a cooperative game, and I have done a video on it, so I invite you to check it out. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love the game. So there we go. The next 2 are Christmas themed games, so I'm not going to talk a lot about them because they will be on my Christmas list. They will make the cut for my Christmas list, and they were both new to me. I bought them to check them out for my Christmas list. They both came out last year in 2021. The first one is Chip 'n Dale Christmas Treasures. They are meant to be very simple. They are meant to be applesauce. Chip 'n Dale Christmas Treasures is for 5 and up. Yeah, it's a memory push your luck card game. And so it's like, it's a little bit of memory, but there's a little bit of push your luck and getting points and making sets. Yeah, it's really a cute Christmas thing, so we'll talk more about it on the Christmas list. The other one is Dr. Seuss's Grinch Grow Your Heart game, and that one is for 6 and up. So again, a very easy game, and it's more of a set collection game. If you don't know what a set collection game is, think Rummy. You know, you're making sets of cards. So yeah, they're both very cute games, and I'll talk to them about more on the Christmas list. The next one is Sushi Roll. I have Sushi Go, and I've played that a few times, but I finally broke down and got Sushi Roll, which is a dice version of Sushi Go. It came out in 2019. I have a lot of 2019s on this list for some reason. 3 years ago was a good year, and I think we didn't get a lot of that information to us because of COVID hitting us in 2020, when we would be really reeling in the 2019 games. In 2020, we weren't playing games. We were stuck at home. So this one is called Paris. Well, the translation is the City of Lights, La Cité de Lumière. Yeah. Anyway, its polyomino placement is what's the word I'm thinking of? I mean, polyomino, of course, is tetra-shaped buildings, and you're trying to place buildings around street lights so that get more points, and placing them, creating land foundations where they can be built, and then later building them on those foundations, always looking to get them near light poles, lights. It's an attractive, it's a 2-player game, only 2 players, and it was a very nice, easy game. It came out in 2019. Yeah, 2019 was a big year. Another game, I've played it before. Yeah, the Chip 'n Dale, the Dr. Seuss, the Sushi Roll, and the Paris were all new for the first time plays this last month. Sunset Over Water, I have played before. I've done a video, I believe, on it. It's a card game by the same people who do Floriferous and Herbaceous. It's beautiful. The artwork is done by Beth Sobel. I'm throwing out these names for those of you who know. But like I say, I have done a video on it. Beautiful cards. You are creating sets to complete certain goals. And when you complete the goal, you are able to sell your paintings for this goal, which is worth points. Okay. Next one is a roll and write, Dungeons, Dice, and Danger, and this one is one of the newest ones on this list. That came out this year in 2022. We played it once. My friend Linda and I, and we played it once, figured it out, and after she had gone, I ended up playing it 4 more times solo. The first time solo, I missed one of the rules and realized it about halfway through and said, I'm just playing it and I'm getting to know the game anyway, so I just finished the game ignoring that one rule. But then the other 3 times I played it, I did follow the rules. and it's a roll and write dungeon crawl. You roll dice, and the numbers on them let you know what you can X out in this dungeon, and so it's easy to understand what you're supposed to do. Not always easy to do really well in it, but you can. I mean, by the time I played it 5 times, I got this down pretty well. I started realizing what I needed to do to make the game last longer. Okay, so Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. I think I've done a video on it. I'm pretty sure in the last couple weeks I've done a video on. I've done some over 80 videos on individual games, so trying to remember which ones I've done without looking it up. Anyway, and then from one of the newest ones in 2021 to an old game from 1939. You see, there's this group of ladies here in town, in my new town, that started a new group for beginners of canasta. And since I like to play games, and no, it's not a hobby game, but it is a new game. So I signed up and joined this group, and so I went for the first time this October. We meet once a month to play, and so I'm looking forward to another game later on this month. Another 2 games because we play 2 back to back, and it's canasta. It's a card classic. Playing the game, I figured it out very quickly. Their rules and you know, every group will play it a little bit different, but I got that. The scoring, no clue. I'm still clueless when it comes to the scoring, but my partner knew. Yeah, she was actually the hostess, and so yeah, it's pairs, you know, 4 at a table. There's 3 tables in her house that we're playing, and the hostess was very quick, and she kept the numbers straight, the sets and everything, the runs and all that, whatever we had, the sets we had, she kept it, and she did all the math and everything, so I was quite grateful for that. Sooner or later I'm going to have to learn it for myself, but I figured for the first time playing I did pretty well, and yeah, it's oh my goodness, it kind of, I mean, it's a card game. It's a traditional card game, and you're making sets of 7 or more, and you've got wilds, you've got numbers, you've got, yeah, things like that. It's a card game. Then played the game Picture Perfect, which I have played before. I love this game, and I call it the game that where you're playing with paper dolls, and very unique game. I have done a video on it, and it's not only just regular video, but if you're looking in the playlist, it will be in the unique game playlist as well. There's not very many in that playlist, so it's easy to find. Picture Perfect. I invite you to go and check it out. It's unique. Paper dolls, deduction, and placement of these paper dolls. So yeah, cardboard dolls. But yeah, I invite you to check it out. Really, really unique concept. I've never seen a game similar to it before or since. The next game played was Overboss, a boss monster adventure, which I played for the first time at Dice Tower. And it's this tile laying game where placement counts. You can get points depending on the placement, depending on what kind of tile it is, what kind of boss it is. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of similar to Calico, if you've ever played Calico. Actually, I think it's a little easier than Calico. Or no, not Calico, not Calico. Sorry, I'm thinking, Cascadia. Cascadia. I'm here like another C word. Cascadia. It's similar to Cascadia, total different theme, but the concept of having a tile in a certain place, and then these little mini token things is the monster on top of it. So yeah, it's that. I think I've done a video on it recently. I tried to do videos on the new games I played that I acquired since Dice Tower Retreat, so it should be in that list. And then next one is Dice Miner. I've done a video on that one. It's not a lot of rolling dice, but it's got a lot of dice in it. You're mining dice. There's this little cardboard, unless you got the deluxe version that has the Kickstarter version that has a plastic mountain. The regular version comes with a cardboard mountain, and you kind of like dribble dice onto this mountain to make the mountain peak, and then you take turns drafting a tile, a dice off of it, keeping that face up, and then there's, I think, 3 rounds, and at the end of each round, you total your scoring for that round, the ones you picked up that round, and that's basically it. You're mining for dice. You are a dice miner, and then you're getting points depending on which dice you mined. And so that's that one. The next one is Gift of Tulips, which was my very first Kickstarter, and it's just a card set, beautiful tulips and Dutch Delft looking. The back of the cards are beautiful blue and white windmill, and it's basically a set collection game. You're collecting tulips, you're giving away tulips. That's why we're Gift of Tulips. You get points for gifting tulips to another player, depending on how important that tulip is to how many points you're going to get for gifting it to them. And very simple thing. I talked about it in another video, so I invite you to go and check that one out. It was my very first Kickstarter. Followed by, next one is my second Kickstarter. Those are the only two Kickstarters I've ever kickstarted. But the second one was Trekking Through History, and I have played that one before, and it's really kind of like a set collection. You're making a run of, depending on the dates of on the card, and you also have another board that has different coins that you receive for drafting, depending on what card you drafted when it was your turn. I've done a video on it. I did an unboxing video of it. I was so excited the day it arrived, so I invite you to check that one out. It just came out just in the last couple months. So, and it is on sale retail. I've seen it for sale on Amazon retail. And then we go to a small little card game called Similo. I have two versions, Fables and History. We played the Fables one. It's a card game, came out in 2019. Very simple game. You create a grid of 12 cards. There's one card that you look at, and that is going to be the character that you're trying to get the other person or people to guess. And then you have these 5 cards, and you use them to say there's something similar or dissimilar, depending on how you place the card, upright or sideways, with the cards that they can see. So one of these cards is the card you're trying to get them to guess, and you just have 5 cards, and then once you place one down, you can refill to 5, and you do this the first time you put down a clue. They have to turn over one of the cards, and hopefully it's not the right one. It's not the one you're trying to get them to be left with. And then when you put another card out, they have to flip over 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then they're left with just 2 upright cards. If you've done this well, and they're down to just 2, and you put down a last clue, and they have to flip over one of those 2, and if they leave face up the one that you're trying to get them to guess, y'all win. If they don't, at any point, if they flip that one upside down, y'all lose. It's a cooperative game. You're trying to get them to guess the right one. We played it a couple times. And then another game, the next to the last game, was 2019. It's a roll and write called Corinth. And in it, it's a roll and write. You're doing dice, and depending on the number, the placement on the track, to whoever's turn it is, they get to pick which row they want to choose from, and then the other person does another choice, and you're just filling out, trying to get the most points on your little sheet. It is a roll and write, so it's a paper sheet that you're Xing out things, gold and goats. You might get some golden goats. You might get some different food types or different types of commodities. You know, it's all different things that you can choose to do and then spend to get other things. So yeah, it's a non very complicated, not too complicated. Let's pie filling level of roll and write. The last game came out this year, 2022. It's called Vivid Memories. Yeah, that one was a little on the weird. It's definitely full apple eating, chewing, biting. Yeah, it's a tile laying, set collecting, trying to do certain goals. So you're trying to fulfill the right color combination in the different spaces on your tile board. Beautiful components. It's without a doubt. But it is a little on the crunchier side. It's easy to learn the base game. That what you're doing is easy. You're picking some tiles and placing them in a little space, and a little hexagon or what? Yeah, hexagon on your board. That's easy. Getting it so that you get points for them, that can be a little on the crunchier side. So that's why I say it's on the higher level of casual gaming. It's a light medium game. So it's kind of like crunching an apple, not eating applesauce. And those are the 28 games that I played this past month. 28 games, 44 plays, 12 games for the very first time. I learned and played 12 different games, played singly with one other person, 3 different people, and of course canasta with 3 other ladies. And again, I cannot believe I've played 65 individual games, different games, 65 individual games in the months of September and October. Wow. My brain is just kind of like, yes, I love playing games. I love learning games. I hope that 1, 2, 3, a dozen of these games really caught your interest, and you have fun discovering wonderful games for yourself and your family and friends. So until next time, have happy gaming. God bless you and your family. I'll see you soon. Bye.